Now we can begin. So, episode 1. Here we
Hello,
go.
people. How are we all doing?
So, to everyone new here, everyone should be new because we've never done this before.
Including us.
Yeah, including us. This is the Ugly Ducklings podcast.
2/3 of it. Don't forget.
2/3. We're almost complete. We're still downloading the DLC. So yeah, as you can see from the foreground that we have in place at the moment, we have 3 ducks on the screen. Unfortunately, Josh cannot join us at the moment for prior reasons. We'll not dive into that. No. However, you have myself, Cameron.
And Keir.
So,
Keir boy.
Yeah. Episode 1. Get this started. God, we've been talking about this for ages, haven't we?
Yeah.
Honestly.
So long, honestly. So long. And now we're actually doing it.
It's a real thing.
It's mental.
Literally,
It's a bit mental.
All the microphones and stuff like that arrived today. I literally got it all come in the post today, and I had it all set up within like half an hour.
So gassed as well when it came.
Yeah.
The messages. I literally left my phone for about 20 minutes because obviously I was at work, and then like I checked my phone again, and you're like, brother, they're here.
Yeah.
They're here.
Yeah.
I've set them up, and then the next minute I get a picture of like the whole setup. Oh,
Well, it's
mate.
like I panicked because I had to buy an extension cord for USBs to plug into the laptop because obviously there's not enough ports to have everything plugged into it to be able to run like all the microphones and that sort of thing. So I had to buy the extension, and that came first. And I thought that when the package being delivered said it was being delivered within the next half an hour, 45 minutes, that turned up in half an hour in that time, and I was like, oh fuck. Are the microphones actually going to come today? Are they really going to be here? I was like, no, they're not. But because this has turned up. But then I looked again and I checked the tracker and I was like, oh god, the microphones are still coming. Yes, come on. So
Everything came today, so yeah, we're all. I text you. I was like, "What we saying? Recording tonight then?"
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. We're literally as soon as we could, we were straight on it.
I just want to just 1 second.
1 second. Breadsticks. Yeah, just as a brief overview of what we were thinking of doing with this. The whole idea behind this podcast is we will talk about pretty much anything and everything under the sun. There's nothing off limits for us. I mean, apart from obviously stuff that, won't exactly get you monetized. That's not really something that we're looking forward to. Not that we're going to be monetized for a while, because, you need to become a YouTube.
Not, no.
You need to become a YouTube partner and get the traction and all that sort of stuff. But yeah, we're going to keep it going as much as we can, and we're going to persist with it because I have faith. I'm solid with it.
Have faith, but it's also just something we can. I sort of feel like already, like as soon as I step through that door, coming and sitting here, just talking is sort of just a nice little escape.
Yeah,
just a nice little dream world. You know what I mean?
It's
just away from everything.
It's something outside of the norm that you can leave everything that the real world has behind, and you can be who you want to be here. You don't have to conform to some sort of thing. You can just be whoever you want. So it's like, I might be a scout leader. I might work night shifts, but this podcast means nothing with that sort of thing. Sure, I might bring it up. I might talk about a few bits and pieces in relation to some things that we talk about, but at the same time, it's not going to be my entire focus. Is that? I mean, there's so many other things that we can talk about that's far more interesting than all that crap. So
yeah,
it's all about getting the focus where we want it to be.
Speaking of other things, Cameron has prepared a nice meal for me.
Nice, good, hearty, warm, chicky dinner.
Chicken and chips. Beautiful, let's taste. Bit of ASMR there for you. Oh, it's banging, mate.
It's not just any chicken, is it, Keir?
What is it?
It's M&S chicken.
It's M&S chicken. So I should be eating with my pinky in the air.
You should expect to poop gold at some point.
Mate, fucking need it.
Because it's, boys, it's expensive. I mean, for the chicken I got, it was like 3 packs for like 12 quid, and you get like 4 pieces in each pack.
What?
Yeah. It's fucking
Jesus
mental.
Christ,
I
paid £2 for a Russell's burger.
If that at most
And that's
places.
enough.
But no, it's the perks of working at M&S, you get your discount, so
Of course.
It might be £12 to the average buyer, but to me it's only £9.60. You know, not flexing or anything.
Obviously. Rich flex.
But yeah, I'm also I'm just staring at the cat right now. Keir is currently sat across from me, and he's got a cat to his left. And the cat is, well, let's just say suitably comforted. It's got 4 blankets it's sitting on right now. And that thing gets absolute princess treatment.
The Persian princess.
Honestly. That thing is smitten with humans. Hates any other animal, but smitten with humans. Like, as long as you make a fuss of her, she'll love you. She's weirdo. She's weirdo, but love her.
So, how's your week been so far? What day is it today? Don't even know.
It is Saturday, nearly Sunday, because it is. I'll say nearly. It's 8:30 right now.
How's your week then?
So it's been all right, I think. Back to work. My old manager, he's come back, and it's sort of relieved a lot of stress for our sort of team support manager.
How come the old manager? What do you mean by that? What happened there?
He was he felt ill for quite a while over Christmas, and he was also moving house at the same time, and doing all that plus the stress of working at M&S during your Christmas period would have just it'd have killed him. So it was better for him to not be at work because then he can focus on what he had to do. And we got by. I mean, it got a bit stressful at times, but
yeah, I remember you saying, you texted me a few times saying, have you got any places at minutes, because this isn't going well.
Yeah, and I mean, if that still stays open, I probably would take it up if it goes bad again, because there are some times when certain people at work are, you know, the righteous pain in the arse. But no, it's all right now. It's sort of
in what way though? Like, are they?
So they're the kind of people. So there's one person in particular. I'm not gonna shout names, but this one person in particular, she just has it out for everyone.
Oh, okay.
Like, she's that kind of person. She doesn't need this job. She works this job and then she works another job. But she married into a rich family.
Okay.
She's born from wealth as well. So she doesn't need this job.
Yeah.
She does it for social because she thinks everyone likes her. No one does, mate. No one likes her at all. Literally no one. And I don't get why she stays at this job. She doesn't need it. She's over retirement age. Like, what's the point? Just go.
So she's over 65?
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
It's like, why? Why would you submit yourself
That's
to being
strange,
at M&S over 65?
Yeah.
Like, that's...
At night as well?
Yeah. Well, she did midnight starts because it was convenient for her.
Yeah.
But there was a big issue at work, which I can't really talk about. There was a big issue at work that was basically kicked her back to doing 3 o'clock starts. Because they found out she was coming into M&S at midnight for her own convenience, and she would do nothing for about 4 hours until the rest of the staff came in, sort of 3-4 o'clock, and then she'd actually start looking like she was doing work.
DOS.
Yeah.
DOS.
Yeah. 100%, mate. 100%. It was righteous pain.
But at least things have changed and it's getting better.
Yeah, exactly. It's on the flip side, and it's doing well. It's going good, so it's all right now.
Speaking of changes, I think I realised on the way here while cycling for the first time in probably, I don't know, a couple of years at least, that I think it's probably time to give up vaping and smoking. Smoking, I don't really smoke anymore, to be honest. I only, socially, like if I go out for a work do, my boss is there and Eric's there. Oh, sorry, Eric, mate. I will smoke because they're there.
Yeah.
But I realised, what good am I if certain people in my life need me to run or cycle to them? And I'm fucking like, I'm just out of breath and I can't. It's not, and even myself, because I spoke to the doctor a while back because I was waking up with blood on my face.
Yeah.
And they said, you need to sort of just quit vaping even, because I told them about, like, I was using elf bars and they said those are fucking horrible.
Yeah.
You don't use them.
They say that the problem with elf bars is it's not necessarily the lung side of it, it's when it gets in your blood.
Yeah.
Which obviously tobacco and that does as well.
Yeah.
But there's certain things that elf bars have in them that weakens you probably know, but the way the blood works, you get the arteries bring the blood to the muscles, the veins take it away. The veins have valves because the walls aren't strong, so the valves actually regulate the pressure, and the arteries lead to capillaries. Capillaries have very thin walls as well. So there's something in elf bars, I don't know what it is, but there's something in elf bars that weakens the cell walls in your veins and your capillaries, which can lead to nosebleeds, that sort of thing, ear bleeds, that sort of stuff.
Yeah, and I think that's probably what started to happen. But I did, I've been working out a little bit more. Started to get back into working out again, and obviously I bought the bike just because I want to get back healthy. Because as we all know, the lungs are, I think, is it the only organ that can heal itself, I believe.
Apart from like your skin,
it's of course. But that's why I said organ.
I think it's the only main internal regenerative. It's the only main internal organ that can regenerate itself.
Yeah, exactly. And that's why when the doctors told me that, because I told them I think it's something to do with my lungs. Yeah. Because I do heavily vape. Like those elf bars I use so much, and it's bad. Yeah. And they told me, they was like, well, the lungs can heal themselves. So don't be scared, don't be like worried about it. If you give up whatever you're doing now and become a little bit healthier, they can heal themselves. Yeah. So but on the way here, just the bike ride, like I've always had a good level of stamina, I believe. Yeah. And I've always stayed active. I've never been like the lazy type to sit indoors and play games. I've always been in decent shape. But it's just the hills. It's like I used to be able to go uphill even on a BMX bike. Yeah. And barely be out of breath, but going up a hill, I had to stop and get off, and that's embarrassing. Yeah. So I think I want to get it to the point where I can fully get up a hill and just carry on going. You know.
I'll tell you what, we'll do the same together, mate. Because obviously with my weight, and then over Christmas, I picked up using an elf bar because of the stress of it.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, I saw you sent a snap. I was like, is he using a fucking elf bar?
But I've now I've cut that back, and it's now just social, or I have it at work if it's a bit of a harder day, because it helps a bit. But I've got one here, and I've said to myself, it's the last one. The last one. It's got probably half of it left, and I've had it for a good week and a half, to be fair. So I've made it last a while, which is normal people, it's like a week they have an elf bar, that sort of thing, which is ridiculous. Unless your name's Keir and Josh.
Fucking no, it's not.
But I was looking into it. This has about 48 cigarettes in it. Yeah. 48. Because of the 2% on nicotine.
2% is 20 milligrams.
It's huge.
Yeah, it's a fucking lot. Like, you get the actual mod system, like vapes. Yeah. The liquid that I used to buy, the highest I used to get was like, I don't know, probably 1.2, 1.4. Yeah. And that was a fucking lot. But usually most of the time it's like 0.6 or something like that. That's decent, But yeah, it's mental the amount that's in the elf bars. Yeah. And that used to hurt my throat. The mod systems did when I had a strong nicotine. These things, they don't hurt your throat, and I think that's where it gets you, because you think, it's all right, but the amount that's actually going into you is mental.
I think they can get away with having the lower percentage purely because you don't take in as much as you do with like a box mod. Because with the box mods, it's big clouds but lower nicotine, so you have more there.
Yeah,
but you just have
you get more of an
percentage.
air.
But with these, you don't get as much intake, but you still get the same percentage. That's why they've sort of ratioed it like that.
I mean, the thing is, I've been using these so much now that, when I do use mine, which is quite regularly during the day, very regularly, too much to be honest, but when I do use it, it doesn't really do anything for me. But like obviously, like first thing in the morning when you take a puff of it, you feel a bit lightheaded, like a bit of a nicky rush. But then like throughout the day, it just doesn't do anything. So I think I need to cut it down to to where when I do go to take some of it, I still get that feeling, because that's how I know that it's not fully in my system. Yeah. It's a hit, do you know what I mean?
So I think my mum did was, you can get the pens, like the stick vapes.
Like the shisha vapes, yeah.
And you get a little tank like that, and you sort of fill it up like that. Yeah. So my mum had one of them, and she went from having a fag, like 3 or 4 fags a day. She went onto that, and would have that the amount of time she'd have a fag. So she balanced nicotine to be similar to a cigarette, and she would, in time, she gave it sort of like 3-4 weeks. She then cut the nicotine in half. She used it a little more than normal, but then was able to start reeling it back.
Yeah.
And then once she got back again, she would cut it in half again. It did the same, but not as greatly affected. And then she did it again, and then after that, she went to no nicotine, and didn't notice a difference.
Well, that's quite good, you know. That's quite a... You have to have quite a bit of self-discipline to do that. Your mum's quite strong for that. Fair play.
I mean, she was already sort of halfway there, because she went from sort of having 7, 8 fags a day down to 3 or 4. So she'd already cut that in half as it was. And that was purely by changing sort of what she was doing at work, that sort of thing, and how she was doing that work. So that helped her in that sense, because she didn't have the stress of it.
Yeah.
But in time, she was able to cut it down and cut it back, because it got to the point where the only time she would use it was when she was in the car. So she would leave it in the car because she didn't need it otherwise.
I suppose the most stressful time is probably when she's driving.
It's the time where she releases her stress, because she can't really do it at where she works, because it's not the environment you stress out on people in. So she does it in the car because it was isolated from everything. She didn't do it when myself and my sister were there, because we obviously don't. My sister doesn't smoke, and I'm stopping. But at that point, she didn't want to do it around us, because she didn't want to have like the sort of the knock-on effect that it has. So she just did it in the car, and eventually she was able to stop. It was to the point where she found it was actually a waste of money having to buy the sort of things, because she wasn't using it enough to justify buying all the stuff.
Yeah, no, I suppose she just...
And so when she got to that point, she just was like, I can't justify getting this.
Yeah.
I don't use it enough, so she got rid of it.
I just realised, you said about monetisation in the beginning, and we just go straight to talk about fucking smoking.
Yeah, but it's something people talk about. I mean, we're never going to have the...
Yeah, no, I'm not saying it's like a taboo, but I'm just saying from like a, monetisation.
Just for you all out there, don't smoke.
Don't smoke.
Don't smoke at all.
Don't do it.
Definitely not.
Waste of money.
Waste of money, waste of time, waste of effort, waste of energy. It's just a waste.
Well, it's not a waste of energy, because you don't have the energy in the first place, because it's all burned out. Your lungs are fucked.
You waste that energy that you could have.
No, exactly. Yeah, no, I completely agree.
Be fit and healthy. Join us on our journey. We'll
Eat as much as you fucking like. Eat as much as you want.
Don't smoke. Eat as much as you want, just of the good food. Because there's programs you could follow. I mean, I'm on Slimming World, as you know. So if you are trying to lose weight, I highly recommend Slimming World. Or any place like that.
You can buy any supermarket you can buy, like this chicken brought to you by M&S.
Yes, exactly. Well, not sponsored, but
soon come.
soon come. No, I don't think they would, but anyway,
probably not.
But no, it's all just a process. It takes time, these things, but you just got to keep committed to it and give it the time and the patience, and you will get there eventually. But yeah, I mean, since I joined, what was it? I think it was last January. I think I'm 2.5. I think I'm either 2.5 or 3 stone down. I've sort of wavered a bit. I put half a stone. I think I put 3/4 of a stone back on over Christmas because of the stress and the environment, that sort of thing.
That's Christmas though. No, everyone does at Christmas time.
Yeah. I mean, you're allowed to. It's Christmas.
With my quick metabolism, I think I must have put on some weight, because fuck me.
Yeah.
I ate like a fucking pig.
Yeah. I think we all did though, and you come up with that excuse, it's Christmas, we can do it. But I'm thinking I might try this year, at least with Christmas, I'm going to try not say, it's Christmas. I'm going to keep myself strict and keep myself at it. Because I think next week I'm going to reinstate my gym membership.
That's
get back in the
what
gym.
I've done today. So we can go together, to be fair. Start going again.
Well, obviously I go early in the morning after I've gone to work.
What
because
time's
well, I finish at 5. I normally get into the gym and I'm starting sort of 5:30, so I'll be there.
Yeah, well that's perfect because me and my boss have literally been saying about going to the gym before work, and we were saying about 5:30, 6 is when we want to go.
Oh, there you go.
That works out perfect, to be honest. We can meet you there in the morning. Done.
Well, I plan to do like 3 or 4 sessions a week.
I think that's good though, because these people that like they go and they fucking like not to obviously bring them down, but I've got a mate, and he's a really good mate of mine, really really good. But there was a period of, I think it was it wasn't last year, it was the year before. So like, and then going into 2022, he didn't have a job, but he still, you know, he had a bit saved up and he had enough money to sort of like pay his housekeep to his mum, pay like his gym membership and his car finance and everything, which is, you know, fair play. But like, he had no job, so every day he was in the gym, and I'll give him his due, like he's fucking stacked now. Like, he's big, but that because of that. And I think going to the gym every day, I just think
well, the problem with going
basing your whole life around the gym, like it just, I don't know, it might be alright, but I just don't see why you should.
The problem with going to the gym on a biological and physical standpoint is you don't give yourself that time to give your body recovery time.
Yeah, like scientifically, like it just, because it doesn't make
the whole point of lifting heavy shit is to tear the muscles so that they can grow and they can fill those tears with proteins and things like that, so that the muscles get bigger and they get stronger. But if you're not giving yourself a rest day, you can build up a small amount of that tear, but you never give it a complete rebuild. So
exactly, so that the next time you go, you're thinking, right, okay, I can lift a bit more. Yeah, exactly. And that's why I think when we go, maybe do it as in like you know, every other day. So we'll go Monday, we'll go Wednesday, we'll go Friday, and then maybe Saturday or Sunday we'll do leg day. We'll make one of those days leg days, because leg day is really fucking important, and I've only just realised this in my later years.
See, the way I'm planning it, I'm doing a push day. So I'll split it out. So I'll probably do either Monday morning or Tuesday morning as push day. I'll probably do the Thursday morning as I'll do Wednesday morning as pull day, and then I'll do Friday morning as leg day, and then I want to do every so often at the weekend, whether it's every other weekend or something like that, I want to do PR day. So set myself my standards, like how much I can deadlift in one go, how much I can bench press, all that sort of stuff.
How long you can run for?
Yeah, the furthest distance in a minute, fastest kilometre, fastest mile, how long you can do a 5k, that sort of thing. Just get all these bits and pieces that you can recollect and level out. Keep them noted down, like on my phone or whatever, and then go back every week, every couple of weeks, something like that, and just see how you've progressed, because it's a way of tracking it instead of looking on the scales at weight, because that's all well and good, but I also want to know what the other side of it is, the off-scale goals and things like that, what I get from those sorts of things as well. Because it gives you that opportunity. And I was talking to one of the guys I work with, he was in my situation where he'd put on a lot of weight, especially over lockdown, and he said the way he dropped all the weight was by following a push-pull leg day routine. He'd do push workouts on one day, so only just pushing stuff. He'd do a pull workouts on another, so he'd be pulling stuff, and then he'd do legs and core on a separate day as well. So he had it all balanced out really well, so that he was able to do all of this. And he found once he'd gotten into the routine, it took a couple of weeks, but once he'd gotten into the routine, the weight just started dropping off, like really quick. And because I'm following a Slimming World diet, I mean, I'm allowed. There's so much food that I'm actually allowed to have. You just have to find variants of it.
Yeah,
that's different.
I think that's the thing that a lot of people are scared of about going on a diet. They're scared of like, oh, I can't eat this, I can't eat that, like, and it's so strict. But the thing is, that you get on with the Slimming World one, you get like a certain amount of thingy points, don't you? Or something like that. You
get what's called SINs,
SYNS.
SYNS.
Yeah.
So, because I'm of the max weight of what you can have, I can have between 5 and 30 SINs a day. So, for instance, this Cherry Relentless I'm drinking right here, that's 5.5 SINs because it's made with real fruit juice. However, this monster, that's 12 sins because it's not real fruit juice, it's sugar.
Jesus.
So I can have...
Relentless is real fruit juice?
I can have 5 of them in a day.
You can have 2 to that one?
Yeah.
That's mental.
Yeah. But these are 0 sugar. I can have as many Monster Ultras as I want.
Really?
Because they're 0 sugar.
Wow.
That's how good this is. This is my cheat code. It gets me through everything. Especially the gold one.
Do they work though? Do they actually give you energy like that?
Yeah.
Like when you take a sip of Red Bull in the morning, even if it's cold, it gives you a fucking boost, doesn't it?
Well, because
really
it's still got caffeine and things like that. It still gives you that boost.
Yeah.
But it's also, you see, I've got the that shaker cup I let you have a drink from earlier, the titty cup. That's a Gamer Sups cup, and I bought a pot of the Gamer Sups powder, and that's a focusing powder. It's got caffeine in it, but you can go buy caffeine-free ones. But that's pretty much just for focusing and that sort of thing.
Focusing.
So it's instead of it being an energy powder,
so it literally gives you...
It helps you get your mind straight, sort of thing. So say you're gaming, and you're struggling for a bit, and if you're struggling to focus on the game, you have some of that. You're able to focus yourself a bit more with it. It fine tunes you a bit.
I've never heard of that.
It's really good, honestly.
Yeah. And
you get, when you buy one, it's something like 36 cents for a scoop.
Yeah.
And that does this glass. That's 1 scoop.
I've never fucking heard of that.
It's really good. I'll show you later when we've finished, but it is really good stuff. It's imported from America, or shipped over from America, so there is a shipping fee. But you can, I think, when you buy your first lot, they give you a discount code for free shipping. So it's good that you can do that.
I mean, if it's worth it, I wouldn't really mind paying full price. To be honest,
I mean, I've just bought I bought another shaker cup as well. It's quite a cool one. It's a limited edition one. Have you heard of the YouTuber The Russian Badger? It's his limited edition one, and it's fucking sick.
Yeah.
The idea he had behind it was...
what flavour is it?
It's just a cup. It's not a flavour. He has got a flavour.
Yeah.
He's called it Guacamole Gamer Fart. So it's like a guacamole flavoured one, or avocado. Which I must admit, I'm not keen on. I don't really like avocado. But the idea behind the graphic that he has on the shaker cup is, he said if he was president, he would chuck a giant metal T-Rex into the middle of New York, with only two, to see how the populace would handle it, with only 2 rules: the police and the military couldn't be involved. So on the cup, there's an unlicensed forklift driver, there's bin men, there's firemen, there's shopkeepers, all fighting this giant metal T-Rex, and it's sick, and I love it. It's so good.
Yeah.
But no, if there's anything that I can agree with that really does work, it's Gamer Sups, and 0 sugar, and you can buy 0 caffeine ones, so you don't it works well with my diet as well, so it doesn't interfere with it because there's nothing in it that's going to bother it. It is really, really good stuff, honestly. It might sound like, oh, he's being paid to do this. This is the first episode. We have no subscribers. Do not at me. I'm not being paid for this. I am genuinely serious. This is good.
It's good shit. Yeah, no, but anyway, back to what we was talking about. That's why I think a lot of people don't just get up and do it. Like not to like put people down and make them feel like shit, but you know, a lot of people I think are just scared to go on a diet just because it's going to be strict, like it's going to be bad for me, like mentally and stuff like that. But the thing is, like people don't understand how much leeway you've actually got when you go on a diet. It's only like
so it's like
the little bits that you're skipping.
Like a lot of people assume you have to cut out every carb and that sort of thing. I went to Slimming World. The first thing they told me, you can eat it. I haven't got a barbecue sauce now.
Fuck.
The first thing they told me was you can eat as much pasta as you want. That was game changer for me. I thrive off pasta. I have anything.
Pasta's good because, excuse me, I've got a mouthful, but that shit, you do a bowl, even if you're not a good cook, do a bowl of that up, get some baked beans, slap that in there, bit of cheese, dice some refrigerated ham, whack it in there. That's a good meal.
Yeah.
And it will fill you up as well.
My go-to is I get pasta. I've cooked some sausages, cut some sausages up into it, and I'll either have the reduced sugar, reduced salt Dolmio sauce, or I'll get some off-brand version of it because they all taste the same. realistically.
Yeah, I mean,
Or I'll buy some like pureed tomatoes and I'll make my own sauce. I'll put a bit of basil, a bit of sage. Quite nice. And I do all that sort of thing. But my current crave at the moment is we're allowed. You can have as much pasta as you want. You can also have as much egg noodles as you want as well. And my current craze, I'd put a pinch of paprika, a pinch of pepper, a teaspoon of salt, a teaspoon and a half of curry powder, and a small amount of chili flakes. Put that in. Well, you boil the noodles over. You put the powder in once it's simmered down, and then you sort of mix it all in. Honestly, it's so good. Like, it's just as good, if not better, than like the instant noodles you get. Because the problem with instant noodles is they put like sugar and stuff all in the sachet, and that puts sins on it.
Yeah.
But having the homemade one, I don't put sugar in it, and you don't need it, because what I put in it is exactly what I'm allowed, and it doesn't affect it at all. So I have that. I might put some chicken in it. I might put sausages. Might put bacon. Whatever I'm fancying, I'll put it in there, and it's a perfect meal. And it is, honestly, it's so good. I'll make it for you one day.
Mate. Again, not sponsored, but these are so good, man.
Well, you've got the tempura chicken, which I think is the one you got.
It doesn't. No, so like, okay, so what are they like? Just fillets?
Yeah.
I'll buy some fillets from fucking, I don't know, Asda or Tesco.
Walgreens.
And the chicken will be like, you can tell that shit's processed, and it's fucking all mushy and not even like the slightest bit like proper chicken.
You can tell it's been stored in a barn for like 10 years.
This, mate, looks like it's fresh from the fucking bone and tastes and feels in your mouth like it's fresh from the bone.
To
That's
the point
banging,
where
that is.
you get a bit and you just tear it apart like that. You can see it's stringy. The fact that it's stringy proves that it's fresh chicken. You don't get that anywhere else.
No, that is banging.
Maybe at Waitrose, because they're sort of starting to, bump up their prices.
Well, my homies hate Waitrose.
Rivals. We don't like Waitrose, not at all. But then we're not much fans of M&S either. But then again, it did pay my money, so.
I was going to say.
Sorry, M&S.
Well, there goes that sponsor. I mean, what?
About that.
No, but seriously though, that's really good, mate. If only had some barbecue sauce, make it so much better.
Yeah. Or sweet curry.
Oh,
Sweet curry sauce.
dude, what I was about to say.
What?
I've got some in the car. Car's not fucking here.
Got some in the car, yeah. Just go get it. Bring, bring.
Ding ding.
Oh dear. So I can't believe I've had this motorbike, for must be 3 months now, and you still haven't seen it. I don't get how we've not done this yet. Like, we should have gone out for a ride or a drive or something.
You've seen my car. You've been in my car.
I've been in 2 of your cars since I've had this bike. You had the
the Mondeo and now the Polo. Yeah,
the Mondeo and then the Polo.
Yeah.
So I've been through 2 of your cars and you still haven't seen my bike. You've not even clapped off. Sorry, casual death.
Get it out then.
Just the fact that you haven't even clapped eyes with the bike, like.
No, I think you must have sent me a picture.
I think I have.
I think you have.
I mean, if you really want to see a picture, I've wherever my phone is.
No, I don't, because then whoever's listening will want to fucking see your thing.
Well, they can wait. They'll find it in a bit. Once we're
Cameron Head 2002.
Once we're a bit more well established, we'll be able to do the proper editing, so we can put things up on the screen. I think we'll probably look at doing that when we get like cameras and things like that, because then you can actually see each other and you can see that we're handing like phones to each other, showing photos, that sort of thing.
Yeah, that's a good point. Actually, right now I could be literally tossing you off.
Exactly.
Yeah,
a little bit lower.
He agrees. He approves.
Yeah, that's it with I got a new bag for Christmas that sits on the rear saddle, nice, yeah. And it's solidified the adventure bike style in my head.
That's really nice. How much was that one, if you don't mind me asking?
Well, when I went to get the bike, I was looking at a Yamaha MT125. It's a naked style bike, so it's like a sport bike, but it hasn't got the fancy aerodynamic panels on over it. So I went to originally go and look at an MT125, but they had this come in the same day.
Yeah, I remember you saying, yeah.
Yeah, so the guy sold this bike to them that same day, because he'd gone onto a bigger bike. He'd done his he'd finished his CVT and he'd done his Category A license. So that was there the same day I had it. And I was looking at the MTs, and they had a couple other 125cc bikes I was looking at as well. But I kept glancing over at that, and I wasn't sure whether it was a 125 or not. So I asked the guy about it. I was like, what kind of bike is that? So, you're interested in the Cafe Racer? I was like, yeah, I am. Just for anyone who knows, I ride an XSR 125. It's a Cafe Racer based on the old 80s version of the Yamaha XS 125s. But I saw it, and he was sort of asking what I was looking for. I was like, well, I need a 125. I'm only on a CBT. He was like, well, it's like, well, the XSR 125 is a 125cc bike. I was like, oh, sweet. I'll have a go. So I had to sit on it, and I had to listen to it, and it was really nice. The only problem it had with it, which actually isn't a problem at all, was not the previous owner, but the owner before it. You remember way back in the middle of last year, we had all those that high wind and the storm that came through. The owner before the last one had the bike, and the wind had knocked it over, so the foot peg on the right had broken off. So that's half a peg, and then the handlebar end had damaged. They had a spare handlebar end, so they replaced that, but they didn't have a spare foot peg. So it's still got a broken foot peg, but I can ride it just fine because I've still got that much peg. Because it's sort of the join's there, and then it sits on like so the join sticks out a bit, and then it sits on like an arch. So it's sort of, you can fold it up and fold it back down, that sort of thing.
Yeah. You can still ride it though, not like your fucking old one. Yeah. That was fucked.
Well, that one, oh mate, that one was brutally murdered.
You've royally fucked that one.
Oh
mate.
But although to be fair, you hit your brakes hard as well, because that corner snuck up on you, and it snuck up on me too.
The only reason I did was because I don't know what I did. I don't remember. I don't remember using my brake because I know that corner in Rovenden, like it's near my granddad's place. But when I went round the corner, I just fucking see you. I was like, was he coming round the fucking corner or not?
Well, you can understand why I misjudged that corner, because it sneaks up on you quite a bit.
It is quite a harsh turn.
And obviously with that bike as well, we'd just come up a hill, so I dropped back quite a bit, so I was trying to catch up to you a bit.
Yeah.
So I'd put in quite a few revs to speed up a bit, and obviously that bike was a pile of wank, and it just didn't want to move anywhere at all.
No.
This one's so much better. So I came up to this corner. It was a left-hand turn. I came up to this corner, and I'd put in as much turn as I was going to give it at the speed I had, and it just wasn't enough. And I was directed straight at the back of this fucking
Clio.
There's a Renault Clio, silver Renault Clio. And if I hadn't hit the front brake, I probably would have been in hospital, put it that way, because I was directly at the back of that windscreen.
I just remember I was like looking, I was laughing because you were going around the corner like, and you were really far behind me.
Yeah.
Started laughing, then I kept looking, and I see you go back into that car. I was thinking, fuck. So I pulled over quickly, and I literally ran to you.
Well, obviously, I was on the phone to Josh as well, and I said to Josh, I was like, I've had a crash, pull over, come back. So you guys turned around and came back. We were there for a solid 4 or 5 hours.
Oh, yeah.
Thankfully, that lovely old couple came out and asked if I was all right. Because I think if they hadn't come out and asked me if I was fine, I probably would have been like, no, I probably would have had a panic attack at that point, because they came out and got me a glass of water and all that and made sure I was all right. And thankfully,
they were lovely.
Yeah, and they let me store their bike round the corner on their drive as well, didn't they? My bike. Yeah, they let me store the bike round the corner on their drive so that it was out of sight, because it wasn't rideable, because I'd ripped the rear brake off from the fucking main cylinder.
Oh mate, you did fuck that fucking bike.
We tried our darndest to fix that thing though, didn't we?
Yeah,
we really tried.
I had every tool I could find at the back of my Golf. My Golf.
Your Golf.
I miss that fucking.
That poor bearing. That poor wheel bearing.
Golf. I really do.
But
yeah,
no, we did
fucking all the tools out the back of the Golf, sitting there, me and Josh trying to fucking figure out what goes fucking where.
Yeah.
Because everything was snapped and buckled and fucked. Yeah. Jesus.
Thing is, if they didn't mount that rear brake to the footplate, I probably would have been all right, because I could have found a website that sells replacement parts.
Yeah.
It's like I've got a where I have that bag that was sitting on the back of the bike. I mounted it too close to the rear light, and the yellow cowl that it sits on, that had broken. Where it had been pushed back and the light was basically hanging off. So I've ordered a new part because I found a website that does the Yamaha parts. So I've ordered a new part and I can replace it once it arrives. But at the moment it's literally Gorilla taped on to hold it on. But I've found there's a little kit I can buy as well that helps with mounting the bags onto the bike properly so that it's not going to interfere with the light or anything. It mounts it quite tightly. But as I'm going back to the other bike, if they hadn't designed the bike to where the rear brake wasn't attached to that foot plate, then I would have been able to fix it, because the rear brake wouldn't have come off, because it was only the foot plate that clipped. When you looked at the plate, it was just the side of the foot plate that was damaged, that had clipped the car. Luckily, the car had no damage to it somehow. So Renault Clio, I have no idea how that thing didn't have any damage to it whatsoever. But if it wasn't attached, I'd have been able to found a new footplate somewhere, and I'd have been able to replace it. But I couldn't find it because it was attached. It ripped it out of the master cylinder and ruined the brake system entirely, to the point where even the ABS didn't work, and the CBS, the combined braking system, didn't work either. So it was ruined. It was fucked. There was nothing to do about it. I mean, you've had your fair share of fucked vehicles as well, though.
Yeah, but I haven't crashed mine.
I didn't crash though. I had an accident.
You fucking did, mate.
No, if I had a crash, I'd probably been in hospital.
Yeah.
Because any motorcyclist that has a crash and it's a bad crash, at least, they don't ever end up on the good side of it. Maybe monetarily they are, but otherwise they're not, because a motorcyclist is most exposed. They literally, it's them versus the road.
Yeah.
So,
but what I meant was none of the cars
they've all run for what they have.
They've all been like fucked, but not fully fucked, but just they've all had issues, but not from my doing.
Yeah.
Like the first car I had when I passed my test, the first car I had. I think that must have been the garage I took it to. I took it for an MOT.
Yeah.
And then I had the cherry bomb exhaust on it, which was leaking like mental because the welding was shit.
Yeah.
They must have blown the head gasket while it was in there by revving it so much, trying to get fumes out of the blown exhaust. And they fucked that. So that one was overheating, and it fucked in the end because I drove it to Dover. So it was over in Dover. And then I was meant to get a Golf then, just after that. But the guy I was going to buy it from smashed it up literally about 4 a.m. on the day I was meant to buy it off him. So that was that fucked. And then so I bought an Astra, which was shite.
Yep.
Hated that fucking thing.
As you expect from a Vauxhall.
That fucking thing was shit. It was an X-Reg as well. And then I got rid of that, and I think that is when I got the Golf. I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure that's when I got the Golf, which was by far the best car I've ever had. I enjoyed it so much. It had power. It was really good on fuel for a turbo diesel. Yeah. But it was a PD 130, so 130 brake, like stock, and it hadn't lost any horses since it was born in 2002. Yeah. I worked on that car for hours when it needed stuff. That bearing though was fucked. But the thing is, I just didn't have, where I worked at a certain delivery company, I didn't have the fucking time to sort it out.
No, exactly. Because
I had to book it in for a certain day so the garage could do it, but I couldn't guarantee I was going to be off that fucking day.
Yeah.
That pissed me off, but that car served me well, and I'm glad that one of my friends has got it, and we've kept it sort of in the sort of circle we've got.
Yeah.
So
it's still about. It's not like it's
and I've still got a car that he loved as well. So that's good.
Yeah.
And then after the Golf, I bought a Fiesta Zetec S, which was alright. It was my first little thing back into petrol cars.
Apart from the windows are propped up by wooden blocks.
Yeah, I mean that was Josh actually. That was fucking Josh.
Yeah, to be fair.
The driver's side I knew about, which was fucked.
Yeah.
and that's fine. But the fucking passenger side, which still worked, was Josh. That was him, and that's why we had to sort that out that night as well. But that was a good car. It sounded really nice.
Yeah, it was a nice car. Even by the aesthetics, it looked nice as well. Even if those,
that was lowered.
Those sticker bits on the front didn't really do anything.
Sticker bits.
The vents on the front, they didn't really do anything because it's not fast enough to need air cooling on the engine.
Well, no, not really, no. But it's just the Z-Tech S and it's petrol, so you can get fuck all out of them, even if you remap them. You can get fuck all out of them. But it was a decent enough car. It got me up to, I don't know if I told you actually, it got me up to fucking Doncaster and back.
Yeah, you did tell me.
Granted, where the lowering springs were a bit out of line, one of the tyres was rubbing completely and it blew on the way back. I had to sort that out.
Yeah, I remember that story.
Yeah, I put it in the group chat, didn't I? Fucking thing. But yeah, no, got rid of that, and then I didn't learn my lesson with Fords. Got a Ford Mondeo ST, turbo diesel one again, 2.2 litre.
It was all right.
That was a good car.
It was a good car. It's just it wasn't what you needed, was it?
It was just it wasn't. Well, it was what I needed space wise, but it wasn't. In the case of sort of, I'd put like 30 quid in it on a Friday, and then by Monday it would need another 30 quid because it had all gone because it was just such a big engine. It's a 2.2 litre.
Yeah.
And obviously, as soon as the boost engages, when the revs go up a little bit, it engaged at like 1900 revs, and then it would just drink diesel.
Yeah.
And I'm glad I've got rid of that car, to be honest, because it was a real money pit.
Yeah.
It really was. I was throwing money at it even when I didn't need to. But now I've got that little 1.4 turbo diesel Polo.
Yeah.
Which they're quite cool.
Yeah.
I like it.
It's nippy as well.
Oh yeah, it's got some fucking beans. It's obviously not the fastest car I've ever had, and it won't keep up with sort of the Golf or the Mondeo for that fucking matter. But no, it's good on fuel.
I was gonna say, but in terms of like the price and how much you have to put into it, that sort of thing.
Yeah, I put 20 quid in it fucking yesterday, and it hasn't moved.
Yeah.
But fuel wise, it's good. I get probably like 50 miles to the gallon or something, a little bit more.
That's pretty decent for a car.
Fucking good.
The average car is about 32.
Yeah, no, it's banging.
Good.
It's got no issues, literally no issues at all. When I sold it to my old man, he made sure that everything was all right on it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm confident. I've got to take it up to Liverpool next month, start of next month. I'm confident that it will make it through.
Yeah.
And it will get me up there and back without any problems. You know. But yeah, I like cars, and I think due to certain things happening at the moment, and something that has just happened, and financial situation. Obviously, I haven't really financially settled into this new job.
Yeah.
Give me a couple of months, and I reckon I'm going to have myself either a 2.3 litre or the 2.8 litre 4Motion V5 or V6 Golf again, Mark IV Golf.
Yeah.
That's what I'm aiming for. I don't want the diesel Golf anymore, because I've had that. Yeah. I've had that. I know what it can do, and I would like to see what those V5 and V6s can do.
Because I reckon as well with those it'd probably be better on the fuel side for the economically, because they're not diesels. They won't cost as much to refill. Well,
that's the thing. So here's the thing with that kind of thing. So
thing.
Average price.
Thing.
Average price for fuel is like 150 something for a petrol. Yeah. But it's like 170 to 180, sometimes 190, depends where you go for diesel. Now, thing is, say I put like 30 quid into the 1.9 TDI, but the PD 150 or PD 130, whatever.
Yeah.
Alright. It will probably last me the same as a V5 or a V6 Golf would. Just because of how, obviously, how big the fucking engine is on a V5 or V6.
Yeah.
It would probably balance it out. I'm not going to lie.
I suppose, it makes sense. It's like, if you're looking at purely just petrol-based cars, a sports car is going to drink more than...
Well, yeah.
A super sport car is going to drink more than a sport car, because super sports typically are V10s, V12s, but sport cars tend to be V6, V8, maybe a V10 if you're lucky. And because of that size of the engine, you've got
it's because of the cylinders.
You've got 2 or 4, maybe even 6 more cylinders firing at one time. it's going to use that little bit more fuel each time.
And that's the thing I was thinking about as well, because I was either thinking about getting a 1.8 turbo, which is really nice, and I was planning on getting one the other month, but he let me down, who was selling it to me. But yeah, like 1.8 turbo. The thing is, the cylinder, obviously, the injectors that they spray fuel, and that's how explosions happen in the engine. Yeah. Well, imagine a 1.8, that little spray of fuel, and then a 2.8. Which is the four wheel, and bearing in mind this 4Motion is 4-wheel drive. That's why it's called a 4Motion. The V6 4Motion is 4-wheel drive. That's mental for a Golf.
Yeah.
Imagine that little spray of a 1.8 and then 2.8. That's a lot of fuel. That's a lot of difference. You know what I mean?
I mean, it's almost 50% more. In fact, it's more than 50% more.
Yeah. But I mean, I don't know. It's just. I mean, I'm well known for finding a good bargain. You know, a gem that costs next to nothing for what it is, for what it's worth. So I reckon I'll find something. I'll definitely find something that'll be cheap as chips, but it'll be a diamond. Yeah. So we just see what happens, I suppose, really. But I'm happy with what I got for now, obviously.
Yeah, it works. It does the job for you.
Exactly. Yeah.
I mean, I'm always going to vouch for it. If you're looking for something that's fuel economy, buy a fucking motorbike. Just buy a motorbike. Because my bike that I have out there, 125 mpg.
Really?
125 miles per gallon. I fill that thing up once a month, and I can do all my work journeys and still have like a third of a tank left.
That's good.
That is gorgeous, really, mate. I love it. And I don't know if I've told you, but I've got holiday coming up next month, sort of the middle of the month, and I'm planning on doing a road trip. I'm just going to do Kent. I can't be asked to go miles and miles away, but I'm going to go further.
Do you even want to go to, like, I don't know, fucking Surrey?
Well, no, because what I want to do is I've got a friend at Canterbury Uni, so we're going to go up and see them for a bit. So we're going to go north of Kent at the start of the week, and then I'm going to come home Wednesday, because that's when I have to be at Scouts, because I've got the group. I have to go to that, and then I'm going to do South Coast in Kent end of the week. So I've got a friend down
so
in
sort of like Hastings.
Eastbourne, Hastings, Brighton, sort of do that sort of stretch there, and then probably come back up by the end of the week.
It's not terrible. Yeah, that's alright.
Yeah,
that'd be fun.
I want to do it.
Thing is, for you though, you haven't done the full thing yet, have you? So you've still got to have L plates.
I still have to have L plates, yeah.
So you can't go on a motorway.
No.
Yeah.
But motorbikes are best enjoyed in country lanes.
It's true, but like.
And to get down the South Coast, I go down the A21.
Yeah. Sorted. It's true, but like if you wanted to go like further, say you wanted to, I don't know, fucking come with me to Liverpool. I
mean, if I wanted to do the distance, I mean, by the end of March, I will be on a Category A licence. Yeah. I will be. I probably still won't be riding motorways because I still only have a 125. That thing barely does 73 downhill. That's the fastest I've ever gone on that. And that was between the Tunbridge bypass. It was between. I was going from the Highbrooms Industrial Estate down to the Tunbridge bypass. That was the fastest I've ever been in that downhill stretch there. That's the fastest I've ever got the bike because it was straight downhill, head down, full revs.
Oh, what from the 21 onto North Farm?
Yeah.
Where that roundabout is. You were going down there.
Yeah, so
73 miles an hour.
When you got the roundabout, you then go. If you're coming up from the industrial estate, you got the roundabout. You take that left that takes you onto the A21, like you're going towards London. Yeah. So that going up that way. That's the way. That's where I came on, and was because it goes down to quite a steep hill there. Yeah, it does. That's where I was bombing it down. And I had this thing max revs, because the bike's got a variable valve actuator on it, which stops it from over revving and blowing up the engine and having a piston shooting between my legs.
It's like rev limiter. So imagine that, fucking straight up your ass.
It's like bike with human. Bike with no human. Gone.
You will lose your anal virginity that day.
I think I'll lose a lot of things that day, to say the least. Yeah. But no, for what it is, what I need it for, that bike is golden. It's lovely.
It looks alright, yeah.
It is a good looking bike.
It's not golden though, it's yellow, isn't it?
Yeah, it's called competition yellow.
Competition yellow?
Yeah.
Like a fucking Ferrari.
They only released it for, I think it was like 6 months they did this variant. Yeah. So there's only like 20,000, something like that. Maybe 50,000. So not like there's a small amount, but there's not loads either. Because normally when you do a release on like a car or a motorbike or something like that, you normally do like 500,000 to like 2.5 million.
Yeah.
Motorbikes you tend to do less because less people ride motorbikes.
I keep hitting the mic. Keep hitting the mic.
I do as well. Don't worry about it, mate. It's gonna dum 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 the whole time.
Sound like a fucking techno rave in this place.
Where the drums, man? But no, I mean, once I've done my category A,
you got a blanket, mate? I'm fucking freezing.
Yeah, sure, you can have this one.
Oh, it's alright. I've got one here. Actually, as it happens.
Oh, there you go.
Wrap up.
But yeah. Once I've done my category A, I will, as soon as I can, go onto a bigger bike. Because I want something that would take me the distance.
Sorry, mate.
This fucking bellend. What's this man doing? But no, once I've got the category A, I'll get a bigger, stronger bike so that I can do the distance and like actually travel on it.
Well, let me know when you need a bike, mate. Because I can pick one up quite cheap.
Well, once I've got the category A, I just need the lift there, because then I can ride it back.
That's what I mean. You know, just let me know when you've got it. I can have a look about and ask some people that I know and find you a really cheap like 250 or 450 or whatever.
Well, I'm probably going to look at getting a 6 or a 650.
Fair enough.
Because I mean, you can even go into 1000, because modern bikes nowadays, 1000 cc's, they have especially sport bikes, they have a staging system in place. So what it does is, if you're on, so they're normally like EBR. So if you're on EBR 1, it limits how much you can use of the power of the bike. Once you've gotten used to that, you can then go up to EBR 2, then EBR 3, and then you go to the max, so you can use the whole range of power. The max you only really need if you're doing like race days, which I'm not going to do much because I'll be using the bike to get around mostly.
Those bike engines are powerful though.
Oh yeah,
they're like 1250s and everything. Like because of obviously, the gearbox ratio and how high you can rev them and just the power of them, to be honest.
So the power to weight ratio.
Use those in like if I've seen like Vauxhall Corsas, they've put 1250 bike engines in them.
Yeah.
Just because of how mental they are.
One bike that I will definitely own in my life, I want to own a BMW GS 1250 GS. It's an adventure.
They make nice bikes.
It's an adventure style bike, and also there's a sport bike of theirs. I think it's the S1000RR. Fucking gorgeous bike, the best bike you can buy because it's made by BMW. And the fact that they have the stuff that they have built into the onboard computer, all other bikes pale in comparison because it's German made. Like, something about a German made vehicle, they just know what to do with it. I mean, hey, they almost stomped us in 2 world wars, so I don't understand why they're pretty good at it.
Well, they had to find a fucking hobby, didn't they?
Exactly.
They were too busy getting... I can't say that.
Oh, no. Hold that thought. Hold that one.
Yeah, cut that out, mate.
Well, he didn't say it, so it's alright.
It's all right.
But yeah, but I want a 1250 GS because it's an adventure style bike. So it's got the whole like the metal framework all around it to give it all the protection. It's got enough seats so you can have like bags at the front, bags on the back, covering every bit. So if I went on like a trip for like 2 weeks, I can cover everything on that bike and it's sorted. I mean, there's another photo I've got. I can't be able to look it up.
There's so many. There's a couple of cars. There's quite a list of cars you can actually get as well with a bike license.
Robin Reliant.
Yeah,
Robin
no,
Reliant.
not even that though. Because the thing is, those are becoming quite few and far between to find.
Yeah, they're very hard to find nowadays.
But you can find them definitely.
Yeah.
I'd probably be able to get one. But there's a list of cars that you can actually buy. Just and you are still allowed to drive them.
Yeah.
On your CBT license.
So I'm pretty sure...
So it's something to think about, though.
I'm pretty sure the way they define it is... A car is defined by having more than one guidance wheel. So where you've got 2 wheels that guide, I only have 1. So if I'd rode a trike where the two wheels at the back were just power wheels, they weren't steering, that would mean I could use them.
My phone's dead. I was going to show you a fucking... there was a thing. There was I don't know if it's electric or not. I can't remember, but there was a car and it had two wheels, obviously for like steering.
Yeah.
But because of something that they did to the car, I can't remember. But you could basically use it on a CBT.
Yeah.
The Renault Twingo. You can use one of them.
Twingo.
I think it's a Twingo, or what is it? Twingo. It's the one. You see them fucking every. Oh.
Yeah.
Raggy.
Raggy. Where are my resticles?
You see them everywhere in London.
Yeah.
And they're one-seaters.
Yeah, I think that's another thing that finds...
About?
Yeah, I know which ones you mean, yeah. I think if it's got like one seat or something like that, or... Well, I mean, motorbikes have two seats a lot of the time as well, but it tends to be if it's a small vehicle, you can do it on a Category A or a provisional because you have the FKQ qualification as well.
Yeah.
Which defines a different type of vehicle entirely. But there's...
I thought that usually means agricultural, doesn't it?
There's that, and there's other little bits and pieces as well. But there's one kind of vehicle. It looks like a motorbike, but because it has two wheels on the front as guidance...
Oh, those fucking things.
I'm not allowed to ride it on a Category A or full license or CBT because it's classed as a car.
Yeah.
Despite the fact that you have to wear a helmet, and you have... In fact, no, you don't have to wear a helmet riding this. You don't have to wear a helmet riding this bike because it's classed as a car. You've got no doors, you've got no frame that goes around you. You don't need a helmet because it's got two wheels that guide the vehicle. You need a car license.
That's mental.
Makes no sense.
That is mental.
It makes no sense at all, does it? Here's another thing that doesn't make sense either. I'm not allowed to tow anything with my motorbike.
You wouldn't fucking be able to.
Until I have a Category A. How the fuck do you tow with a motorbike? Huh? See, when I originally read that, right, I thought it meant you couldn't tow / have a sidecar.
I know what it means, yeah. Oh, that's what I thought.
But I kept reading on. It said you couldn't have a passenger, you can't tow, and you can't have a sidecar.
So it's a separate thing.
Tow is a separate thing to the sidecar.
What the fuck are you towing with a fucking bike?
I can understand, right, if you've got a sidecar, you could tow, because you can join it in between or onto the sidecar. Because it's stable. It would make sense. But if you've just got a motorbike, how are you towing with just a motorbike? Where do you attach it for one thing?
Yeah. You have to...
Yeah.
You have... there's got to be like a stabiliser you use or some fucking thing.
Well, the thing is,
Imagine stopping every 5 minutes because you've leaned too much to the left and it's popped off.
Or you've turned too far and then you go down because the trailer's gone on its fucking side. But the thing is it doesn't make sense because the majority of turning on a motorbike physically is in leaning.
Yeah.
So when you're at speed, you never turn the bar to turn.
No,
in fact, the way you turn when you're at speed, if I want to turn right, I'm pushing my right hand forward. Because the way it works is you're going to push that forward, it causes a lean, and it keeps the wheel straight so that you're not going to get a gravity attack. So if you're turning like that, the wheel can downside and go straight into the floor. So then you come off the bike and you slide and you have a crash. But if you're pushing forward, that wheel stays straight and it just uses the lean and it guides you around like that using centripetal force. There is physics behind it, and it took me a while to understand counter steering, but I've got the hang of it now. So it's like... You know, it turns into a 40 as you come in through Langton Green. As I'm going through there's quite a few twists and turns.
Yeah, there is, yeah.
I'm pushing forward on my hands like that. Like, I could take this hand off doing a left-hand turn and just push forward like that, and I'll do the left hand like that. It's mental how it works, but it's like... It's so counterintuitive because your brain thinks, I'm turning right, turn right. But no.
That's the same with like a push bike even though. Yeah.
If you're going at speed, it's like, right, I need to turn right, so I'm going to turn right. It's like, no, I need to push to go the other way. It's like, it's so weird.
Yeah.
But once you get the hang of it, it becomes second nature. I mean, I'm so used to it now. It's like, it's the whole idea of like learning to drive a car. It becomes second nature once you've done it enough. It's the same with riding a bike. I can use that thing without thinking now. I mean, most of the time you have to plan ahead because obviously you're vulnerable on a bike. It's better to think about planning ahead on your journey. So if you can see a junction ahead and you might have to come to a stop, you're gonna think about downshifting. Whereas in a car, you can sort of you could just drop the clutch and then just bring the brakes down and then
I wouldn't
slot your gear.
I like to downshift in a car just purely because I don't want to rely fully on the brakes.
Yeah, the engine braking works better as well.
Yeah.
I mean, the engine braking on that thing's mental as well. So.
Yeah, I bet it is. Yeah, I can imagine.
It's like it's like if I need to slow down quick because it's got essentially the motorbike equivalent of a double clutch.
Yeah.
It's called a stutter box. So what it does is it freezes the engine for a split second while you're changing the gear, so you don't actually need the clutch.
You don't need to.
So if I need to stop quick, I'll be front brake, rear brake, stutter, and then obviously you're off the throttle, and then as you're coming down to sort of like 10, you sort of bring the clutch in, and then you slow down. Which thankfully I haven't had to do an emergency stop yet. I've had to do hard braking because, there's fucking idiots on the road.
Yeah, of course.
But apart from that, I've been all right on the road, and because I'm very wary, I'm always doing like your shoulder checks, your safe, making sure I'm safe and all that. It just covers me so that I know that I'm doing the right thing. And I'm even going to go as far as when I've got some more money in, but I've got a action camera upstairs, like a GoPro thing, and I've got a chest mount, so I need to get a couple new batteries and a battery charger and a new SD card, and I'm going to use that as like a body cam footage, so that if like something does happen, I've got the camera there to show it. So so it shows that I'm doing the right speed. It shows that the drivers around me are being safe, and if there isn't one being safe, I've got it on camera that they're being unsafe, at least if they're in front of me.
That's fair enough, yeah.
So yeah,
it can't be too safe.
You might see some body cam images, some body cam videos on the Instagram at some point. That's another thing as well. We will eventually set up some social medias for this.
Yeah.
So Instagram will probably be something we do, like a few clips on there or something like that. We'll do the same for TikTok. We'll have like clips and that's from the podcast, like funny moments, that sort of thing. We'll do everything we can to make this as entertaining and as accessible to everyone as we can, while still having fun with it, because you can get so in depth that you just don't enjoy it anymore, and that's not what we want to get to.
No, definitely not.
And I think I like the idea that I suggested to you, where we do sort of seasons with it, so we don't do constantly every week we upload. We'll probably do like a couple months on, a couple months off, couple months on, couple months off. So you did like 8 episodes, 10 episodes a season, then have like 8 to 10 weeks off. It sort of balances it out and splits it up so that we get that time to ourselves as well as doing this for everyone else too. Because everyone needs a holiday. So having that time not doing anything means we can balance it with our personal lives and all that sort of thing as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
So it works quite well in that sense, I think.
That's all right.
Do you agree, Sha?
I do, mate.
I disagree. I disagree, no.
Special.
To say the least.
But yeah, I agree with that. That's a pretty good idea.
Yeah.
Gives us something to look forward to as well.
Yeah, exactly. And if something happens in those couple of months, we can sort of note it down as something to talk about, sort of thing. I mean,
there's so many things that happen like every day that like I keep in my head.
Yeah.
And they're just like either like they're funny or they just like piss me off. That I just think, wow, mate, it'd be so good just to get this out.
But it's like, it's all that sort of thing, and then it's like, I like the idea of doing sort of themed episodes. So like, we have an episode.
Not every episode though.
Not every episode. We have like we'll have like a few episodes a season where we just talk, like we're doing at the moment. We're just talking. But then we also have episodes where we focus on something. So like, I don't know, something interesting has happened, or
like in the world,
or I don't know, there's like a topic that we've been talking a lot about recently, and we do some research in it and we talk about that. Or even if it goes down to something like, we just do an hour long try not to laugh, dad jokes and shit like that, because I've got an extensive list. And I think something like that would be really good, because it changes it up. It means we have something for everyone then. So, and even if like, I mean, there's probably none of you listening to this one at the moment, but if there's anyone,
I'd be so, fucking hell. Cheer up, mate.
Sorry. But when we do have more of you guys listening, you guys can always leave suggestions and things like that, stuff you want to talk about. Maybe a topic you might want us to revisit at some point if we cover something.
If you leave any hate comments, I'll find out where you live and I'll smash your teeth in.
He said TV. TV.
Yeah, I'll smash TV, yeah.
TV. TV, YouTube. Yeah. TV. Yeah. TV. Television.
Especially if you've got a Sky Glass.
Fucking excuse me, what do you think that is? What do you think that is, mate?
My mum and dad have got Sky Glass.
Mate, Sky Glass is sick.
But you haven't hated on me. They might.
Well, that's their problem.
Yeah, it fucking will be.
Sounds like a you problem. It ain't a me problem, mate. I love the Sky Glass. It's pretty good.
It's alright, isn't it?
That's the smallest one as well. And it's the same size as the TV we had before.
Yeah, that's why I noticed, because my mum and dad, they got the fucking biggest one. Fucking huge. Yeah. It's massive, like a cinema.
I mean, that's the smallest one, and that's still big.
Yeah, it's a decent size. You don't need it to be massive, do you? Not in a room like this, anyway, where the room isn't actually big itself.
You think 10 years ago, right? If that, TVs would have been probably 2/3 smaller than that, half the size of that. They'd have been
10 years ago.
Yeah.
2013.
Yeah.
I don't think so, mate.
They'd have been quite. Do you only really get into TVs
plasmas.
This size?
We had plasmas.
Yeah. But they were only really getting to this size. So we had the biggest plasma they would have done back in the day. It's in my sister's room now. Yeah. So we would have only just got to like this size, but the standard TV was like half the size of that. It was quite small. I mean, hell, 2013, I had a TV that was no bigger than that fucking...
Yeah, I remember...
That 16-inch laptop there.
I remember the days of like CRT TVs. You know, like
the box
big,
TVs.
They had like a fat back on them.
So I used to have one
ones.
Where I used to live in the old flats. I had an old CRT TV, and I would stay up to like 2-3 in the morning watching Ice Road Truckers.
Fucking Ice Road
so
Truckers,
good,
mate.
that program.
So good.
It's so
on
good.
Channel 5.
Yeah, Channel 5, middle of the night.
Fucking
No,
Channel 5.
mine was on Dave. I used to watch it on Dave or
sorry,
Gold. Dave Gold or Dave Jarvu.
Dave Jarvu, yeah. Because the Ice Road. Because it was like Top Gear at like 7 in the evening, and then Ice.
It was like OG
like,
Top Gear,
yeah,
proper Top
good
Gear.
Shit. Yeah.
None of this modern stuff. I mean,
I remember the CRTs.
It's all right. The new ones, the new
I
Top
don't know.
Gears, they're all right.
I don't really. Like
I prefer Clarkson and Co.
I do, because they have a special chemistry that's found. Yeah. It's sort of
the new guys
cemented.
The new guys have a special chemistry that's different to what Clarkson and Co were as well. They haven't tried to copy them, which is what I like about them. They haven't tried to keep Top Gear the same, but it's not the same sort of comedy because we grew up with Clarkson. It's not the same as what younger kids are growing up with. They've sort of grown up with.
The thing is though, even though. You know, they've got new people doing it. That, you know, Clarkson, Hammond, and May, they're doing the Grand Tour.
Yeah,
which is doing fucking brilliantly.
The Grand Trip.
Yeah, mate, it's doing so well in its own right.
It's really good. The only problem I have with Grand Tour is the thing that was so good about Top Gear is it was on a budget. It was low cost.
It was on a budget and it was regular.
Yeah.
The regular. Yeah, regular. Yeah. Regularly occurring.
Yeah. But the problem with Grand Tour is because it's Amazon owned, it has that bottomless budget. It's this they can do anything they want, and they don't have to worry about the cost of it because it's covered.
I think that's good though, because it gives them leeway into, you know, they've probably had mental ideas while they were on Top Gear that they've got shut down for because we don't have the budget for that. Whereas now they're sort of like, we can really go all out and give them something to watch. Do you know what I mean?
Well, Top Gear, when I first started watching, was on BBC Three.
BBC Three, before it got shut down.
It's back on telly now.
Is it? Fucking.
Then Clarkson and that lot went to BBC Two. And it was on BBC Two for a while, and for the last couple of years it's now on BBC One.
Oh yeah,
it's top of the pops now. So they get the top budget now for Top Gear.
BBC Three, I remember that shit. They used to have Family Guy on it, didn't it? Yeah.
Might have done, yeah.
Yeah, Family Guy and American Dad at night.
You'd have Family Guy, American Dad. You'd also have stuff like Little Britain, that sort of thing.
Fucking hell, Little Britain, man.
Not that you'd ever get that anymore because it's been banned.
Fucking hell, no.
They banned it.
Yeah.
Mm.
Well,
There's a few old British programs they've banned because of the content it had.
I think that's bullshit.
Mm.
That's like going around and killing old people because of the fucking era they were born in, and the way that they think.
I mean, it's not really.
No, just hear me out.
It's a very extreme example. Hear me out.
So I've got a bloke at work called Mark, right? Right, Mark, how you doing, mate, if you're listening?
Marky boy.
Mark Sturley Chavy. But basically, he came back in from doing banking. We do business banking, obviously. He's a banker and he banks all fucking day.
He's a wanker.
But basically, he came back in from doing banking, and at this point, this was back in like when I first joined Millets, and there was a woman there who was a supervisor, and she was Jewish, and
oh no, I don't like where this is going.
And basically, obviously, you know how like Jewish people, like the stereotype is. This is not me saying this, so don't fucking clip this or anything.
Clip it right now. Do it quick.
Clip it. No, basically, the stereotype is that Jewish people are tight with their money, and that's how they're good with money, because they're tight with money. And basically, we needed banking bags, and this certain lady asked Mark to go and get some. Well, he came back from the bank with no banking bags because they were being a bit tight with them, and he said they're being a bit Jewish with the banking bags.
Oh.
And she like flipped her fucking shit.
Oh.
Basically, tried to get him to have a disciplinary and everything. But what he was trying to like get through to her was like, back in his day, and this was at the time as well. No one was a snowflake. Yeah, no one was a melt back in like 2019 before COVID and shit. Like, everyone was cushy. So no one else had a problem with it. But it's just sort of, she was a bit anal about being Jew, whatever. Yeah. But basically, and she tried to give him a disciplinary, but he tried to like make her see like, I was born in an era where saying phrases like that was all right, regardless whether it is okay now. Yeah. Back in when I was born and growing up, so it's cemented in my head that saying things like that is okay, especially when it's not directed at someone. You know. Yeah. So I can understand where he's coming from. So where I said, it's like going around killing old people. Do you understand what I mean?
Yeah.
No, because you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Just go around killing OAPs, mate. Just stomp on the fucking heads.
Don't actually. You might have an issue in court. I will be honest. We do not condone the action of any sort of harm to any sort of person.
What did you say? It's for me to say that it's like killing old people.
Do you know what? I don't remember.
I don't fucking remember. We're gonna have to go back.
We'll probably remember it. Post recording. We'll probably remember it.
Wait, hold on, wait. What did you said something about Top Gear or something? Or fucking... What the fuck is going on?
I don't know, brother.
There's a gonk in the room. Fuck you.
Yeah, there is as well. He ain't lying.
Fuck you, man. Fucking gonks, mate. That's not Christmas. It just looks like it belongs on the Muppets Christmas Carol.
I mean, I said to my mum that it is tack. It is tack, really. Yeah. Like, it's so tacky and just horrible. But she loves it, so I can't do anything about it, really.
That's alright, I suppose.
I mean, hell, look around the fucking telly. It's a jungle.
It fucking is, mate. I feel like I'm a celebrity. Get me out of here.
I feel like I'm being flashed back to an old commercial. Way down deep in the middle of the Congo, a hippo picked a nipple, got the guava and the mango. We're not sponsored, by the way.
I feel like I'm back in Nam.
No, I tell you what, I've quite enjoyed this today. It's been lovely, and these microphones are gorgeous. You can hear fucking everything. What's something your mum would say that you're proud of?
No, you go, oh.
Can't get the whole thing in, it's fucking huge. That's what she said. But no, it's been really good, this as well.
Yeah, I've enjoyed it.
Hopefully it won't be too long before old Joshy boy comes and joins us. Because I think he'll need this just as much as us two, really.
Yeah, he'll love it. He'll fucking love it.
He would. Because he'll chat shit the whole time as well. Yeah.
We're all chat shit.
I mean, he is sort of the punching bag of the group. We do sort of take the piss out of him a bit.
No, he's not like... That's a punching bag is not a... I wouldn't say he's that. Definitely not. But, like, he's like...
He can take it.
He's the most like prone to sort of like
stupid stuff. He'll say something in a really stupid way, and the thing is, we're not the kind of
and then
people
he'll be like, "Oh fuck, I didn't mean that."
We're not the kind of people to let him off with it either. No. We'll take the piss out of it because we always do. But then he does with us when we do too. So it's a fair order. We take the piss out of each other just as much.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Because we can give as much as we can take. Because we're not snowflakes.
Yeah, we're not like. Basically, what he's trying to say is, he's not like the rest of our generation. We are the ugly ducklings.
Talking about my generation. But no, that's the thing. The whole idea with the ugly ducklings is there's good sides to everything, and a lot of the time that's the only thing that's really covered in most podcasts. But we're going to cover the good and the ugly side of it all, because there is good sides and bad sides to everything. So if we cover it all, then
exactly
everyone can relate to it.
It's like when your toaster only cooks one side of the toast
because the elements have gone out on one side.
It's fucking bullshit.
It is a pain in the ass, but
fucking
then
hate it.
on the flip side, you flip the bread round and then it toasts.
But I like my toast burnt, and only half of it's fucking burnt. The other side is fucking still soft.
So you flip the toast round in the toaster?
No, but
you
I can't
toasted
be arsed
again
because I'm fucking hungry, ain't I?
Dude,
just get a new fucking toaster, mate.
Chuck it in the oven.
I can't afford it, so someone sponsor us, please.
Chuck it in the oven.
Yeah, could do, yeah.
Hot Point sponsor us.
Oh, fucking Bosch.
Bosch microwaves.
Just turn up with fucking the whole kitchen is appliances full of fucking Kenwood
We
shit.
do like a whole video podcast. It's just us installing a Hot Point kitchen.
Yeah, fucking dishwasher.
In collaboration with Ren. Oh god! Do you know what? That doesn't sound like a bad idea. If we got the sponsor, I'd do that. I think that'd be great.
I think it's a bit early days to be talking about sponsors. We haven't even got one fucking viewer yet.
No, we haven't got one viewer. Ain't even got a subscriber. Not even any of my mates subscribe to the channel.
Really?
No. Because I haven't posted.
We've actually got no subscribers.
None whatsoever.
That's a bit weird. How do I don't know that? Because I literally use that account on my phone. But
considering it's what we post on as well, we haven't posted anything, so we're not going to have any subs because there's no content to watch.
I was going to say,
what's the point?
No one's literally. I don't know anybody that sees a YouTube channel with no videos and goes, I'm going to fucking subscribe just in case they do.
God damn, these guys are on it. I'm going to be on these guys straight away. My god,
no,
these guys are going to be...
people that search for fresh talent, they're like fucking subscribing to someone with no viewers, no subscribers.
It's like, hey guys, what's up? We're going to be finding some new talent on the YouTube platform. Let's get it.
It's a good idea though.
Who are these guys? Oh, these are the ugly ducklings. These guys are shit. Let's go to the next one.
No, definitely. Pee. We'll just see, I suppose. I mean, as you say, whether or not, if we gain traction, if we don't gain traction, I don't give a fuck, to be honest. Well, I mean, this isn't for views. This isn't for sponsors.
It's for us, money. Yeah.
It's for us.
I think the whole thing with this as well is if we want that traction, it all starts with just telling your mates, really. Like, I've told the guys at work, and they said they're all going to listen to it.
Yeah.
So, and I was going to ask them if you want to, share it around if you think it's all right. Just sort of let everyone know about it. And
well, the boys at work that I work with, they obviously, we're just three lads just having a bit of banter and working.
Yeah.
But I sing, and they seem to think that I sing quite well.
I'm the same. I sing at work, and they seem to think I sing quite well as well.
And so I told them that we were starting a podcast and everything.
Yeah.
And they was like, well, if you gain traction, you could probably use that platform to sort of do a bit of the music side because you're good at singing.
Yeah. Even if it's like, you can always do sort of your own channel, and you can do like a covers channel. Yeah, but I don't really do like song covers.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I want to do my own channel though, because.
I mean, hell, if you want to do singing on a YouTube channel, I'll do it with you.
Yeah, I know,
love a little sing song.
Well, I think I'll just leave that for those late nights and karaoke nights and pubs. To be honest, I don't think I have any.
Friday night at the Checkers.
No, I don't think I've got any space in this world to be a famous fucking singer.
Well, no, it's not even that. It's like you look at YouTubers like Conor Maynard. He's not exactly a famous singer. Sure, well, to be honest with you,
no. He didn't start off doing YouTube.
No.
He gained his popularity and stuff you know, with his song. What was that song he done? He did a song. So he done a song called Girls, you know, Girls, that one.
Yeah.
And then he did like Turn Around with Neo. That was a pretty fucking good tune.
Yeah.
But then he did a few, and then he went quiet for a couple of years, and then I started seeing him pop up on YouTube.
Yeah.
And then I think that's where he's sort of.
Yeah.
But I think he sort of dipped his toes in sort of the water, so to speak, of like the music industry.
Yeah.
And then got a taste of YouTube, and then I think he just stuck with YouTube.
Yeah.
Because I think that's where he performs well, you know.
I think he's I remember seeing a video of him literally a couple of days ago, and he was doing, I don't know if it was a cover or if it was his own song, but he was singing something, and I hadn't heard it before, but it probably is a song he's doing a cover on, but it was the kind of music I don't really listen to. But he was doing a cover on something, so he is still kicking, he's still doing whatever he's doing.
Oh yeah, definitely. And he's got talent, like there's no denying that.
He's really
but
good.
That's what I mean. I think because those songs I said about, they were back in like 2011, 12, 13.
Well, it's like my top 3 artists at the moment is an artist called Joji. Do you know who Joji is?
Joji, yeah.
I do like Joji. He's one
you
of my
are a big
favourites.
fan of him. I'm not so much,
but his song "Glimpse of Us," Conor Maynard did a cover on "Glimpse of Us," and it's my favourite cover. It's actually my favourite version of the song. I prefer it to the original because I find the problem with the original is because it hit mainstream. It went mainstream and it just got replayed over and over and over, and I got bored of it. But honestly, if I had to pick any of the songs of Joji, that's my favourite, it's "Run," purely because it's got an orgasmic guitar solo at the end of it. It's so good, honestly.
We're not sponsored by Joji.
I mean, no, good old Filthy Frank.
Yeah.
The thing is, I reckon, because he's been Filthy Frank, I feel like Joji is untouchable. Because he's had that era where he was Filthy Frank. The majority of his fan base know him as Filthy Frank. And obviously now he is Joji. But because most of his fan base came from that era of YouTube with iDubbbz, Filthy Frank,
fucking iDubbbz,
that
Jesus.
sort of thing. He's still going as well.
I remember that fucker.
He still posts. He's still
funny.
going.
Who was the other bloke? Remember that fucking cunt? What's his name? Leafy is here. Do you remember Leafy?
Yeah.
Fucking hell, man. And Trollsers. Do you remember him?
Trollsers. I can't say I know Trollsers.
No, he was a bit. He was like on the quiet side. Like he the Sidemen knew him. They did know him, and also as well like Will and E and Mini. What's his fucking name? Mimulus and you know all them lot.
The E-boys.
Yeah, the E-boys. Yeah, that they all knew him and stuff, but he never really gained traction. And then he I don't know what happened to him, but he went quiet and he hasn't made any videos for ages. Actually, I remember seeing a video and I think he actually got done for talking to an underage girl.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Which is quite surprising. And I'm not just saying that because I know that's a cliche. Like everyone always says, "Oh, it's surprising." Like you never expect it, but you never would because he used to take the piss out of people that used to talk to underage girls. He used to call people nonces. He used to, you know, proper lot. And he was one of those troller like gamers. Yeah. You know, he used to sort of pretend to be a girl or like pretend to be an old man or something like that, and just troll people on Black Ops 2. But then like I don't know if that's true or not. So if he sees this or hears this, don't fucking quote me on that because I don't know because I'm only trying to remember. I'm using my shit memory, but I remember something happened and then he just cut it out.
I mean, if it comes up to it, and in the future, if he ever does reach out to us, and because he's heard this, we will. If we've got any information wrong, we'll look into it and we will correct ourselves. So
yeah, I mean, I'm fully like, you know, that's not. I'm not using that as a direct quote, and I'm not using it as you know, concreted information.
It's from what you remember.
It's just from
the hazy memory.
I just remember a thumbnail and a title of Trollsers caught talking to underage girl or something along those lines. But actually, my phone is on, so just before we get the court fees come in, how about have a look on YouTube and just see, in case.
Give it just a little look up. Yeah. Just in case, you know. It's alleged. So we just gotta be careful.
So, troll.
Where is my phone?
Zeus.
My phone has actually disappeared.
No, it's not. I think it's. It's fucking disappeared, mate.
Gone.
Oh, I fucking can't. I ain't got Wi-Fi. Not 3G.
Yeah, the Wi-Fi.
3G. Do you remember that shit?
Yeah.
Fuck it now.
But I still barely get 5G, mate. I barely get any in Tunbridge Wells.
Well, I remember a phone I used to have. My mum and dad gave it to me. It was an LG. It was actually really cool. I could the thing is, all I really gave a shit about was music and texting people.
Yeah.
So I had obviously credit and text people, and then oh my god, I got a funny story for you in a minute. But I used to, you could record songs from the radio.
Yeah.
And I would set all the channels, and then I'd just sit on the radio stations, wait for the song, and then I'd record it, and then it would go to your actual music files.
Yeah.
And then you could obviously rename it. And that was so cool to me. Yeah. That was so cool that I could do that. But I used to do this thing, so obviously I'm not from the richest family. Right? My dad, he always tried to provide for us as much as he could. And I'm grateful for everything that he's done.
Yeah.
But we weren't the richest family. And there was a time when I was on Virgin Media, on I had a SIM card, a Virgin Media SIM card. And I remember I called up the people, and obviously because I was fucking hell, I was probably... I don't know, 2003, so probably eight or 9, maybe 10 latest. And I would sound like a woman because of my voice, and because I was a little bit well spoken, I knew my words.
Yeah.
I would call them up, and be like, I topped up this morning, the customer service. I topped up this morning, but it didn't come through or anything. And then they would be like, have you got the voucher still? Have you still got it? I said, oh, well, no, because I threw it out, but then I just wanted to call to see what was going on with it, because it still hasn't come through, and stuff like that. I'd make up bullshit, complete horse shit, to try and, scam them. And I'm not even joking, a good 5 or 6 times, they gave me £20 worth of credit, so I would get, packages of texts and calls and shit. And it was fucking amazing, mate. It was brilliant.
You're telling me you just outed yourself?
Absolutely. Fucking, I don't care. Because they won't be able to find that number anymore. I threw it in the bin, proper snapped it and shit.
Naughty Grundle.
But it was mental. Because I'd be I'd be texting my family members and my mates and shit like that. And it was brilliant. It was fucking brilliant. Oh, mate. Those little times, those little things in life that when you look back on them, you think, yeah, how fucking good that was.
The thing is, though, is you never it's not about credit for topping up phones anymore. It's you buy data. And you just use stuff like WhatsApp or something like that, because then you don't need to pay for text or calls. Yeah, because it's all free on WhatsApp.
Well, no, not even that. I'm on Voxy. Obviously, they're under the wing of Vodafone, and you pay £10. Well, I pay 15 because I get a bit more.
Yeah.
So you get unlimited social media data, and then you get I think it's 30 or 40 gigs worth of normal data. So normal data in this instance meaning music. YouTube streaming, Safari, searching, browsing. And you have to have at least 1 gig left of that to use unlimited. But you get unlimited social media data, unlimited text, unlimited calls. That's fucking £12 to £15 a month, and that's that sorted. So all you need to do is go out and get a cheap second-hand phone off Facebook Marketplace or even CEX or some shitty place like that, and then whack a Vodafone SIM, exchange it over, and you're paying next to nothing for fucking everything. So these days it's not about getting £20 worth of credit and fucking you know what I mean. Yeah.
I mean, it's good if you're in a situation where you smashed your phone and you can't use it at all. Excuse me. And say you've somehow done it to the point where you've burnt out the SIM or something like that. It's very impossible to do, but you've damaged the SIM to the point where you can't use it, and you've broken your phone. You've got to wait to get a new one. If it's going to take a while, in the meantime, you buy a quick little phone that you get a little £10 a month SIM. You just stick that in it, so you get your pay-as-you-go SIM, and then that's it. You're sorted for a while.
Yeah, absolutely.
So there are little things you can do just to keep it going.
Do need a new phone. This one is fucked. You see, I've got no camera in it.
To say the least, it's fucked.
It's completely fucked. The battery doesn't last
to describe what I can see on this phone, the back of this phone has no camera. The top and the bottom glass holdings are fraying away very much. There is sticky marks from where he's stuck the 2 Apple stickers to the back of it, and he hasn't bothered to clean them.
No, they are still on.
It doesn't look like it, because I shouldn't be able to see the Apple logo on the phone through the sticker.
No, they're fucked.
So
But
yeah.
it is fun. I got the screen replaced.
So Apple, if you feel like sponsoring us, my
Yeah,
boy
I
could
need some
use a new
AirPods,
phone.
mate. I need some AirPods now. I'm riding the old
I've
bike
just
again.
ordered some third generations.
Have you?
I've needed them so bad.
Fuck it now.
Because at least with third generation, I get a few years out of it.
It's a good phone though, and the thing is, like when I first started working on it, I fucking hated, like, I hated just having the same phone for like more than a week.
Yeah.
So I used to buy shitloads of phones, and now I just hate buying phones. And like what I use a phone for is obviously calling, texting.
Yeah.
Obviously taking pictures. Can't really fucking do it anymore, can I?
No.
I've got no camera. But yeah, I mean, I don't see a reason why I should. I mean, the battery's fucked, so I need to be somewhere that has a fucking plug.
Yeah.
But you know, it still turns on, and I can still make a call. I can still text someone.
Yeah.
I believe it's fine, to be honest.
Fine, he
Barely.
says. Fine, he says.
But yeah, no, probably in time. You know, as I due to a certain situation, I do need a camera phone.
Yeah.
You know, I do need a phone with a good camera on it. I do need to take good pictures and stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, for the time being, it's fine, to be honest.
It works for what you need at the moment.
Definitely.
What is that? Is that a 6 Plus or something?
That's 8 Plus.
8 Plus.
Yeah, I know you can't really fucking tell anymore, but yeah.
Well, I think the best you should probably go for next is like an XS or an XR.
Yeah, to be honest, I was looking at getting a contract out for an iPhone 13.
Go for a 13 Pro. It's literally with Vodafone. I'm with Vodafone for my phone. You go for a 13 Pro, it's like $250 extra a month. That's it. It's not bad.
Yeah.
And I then pay something like £5 on top of that for insurance costs and that sort of thing, so it's covered in that sense. And then there's like another £5 on top of that for the extra bit of data I have. So it's realistically, it's not bad. I think
that's
pay
the thing. Like,
I think I pay out £60 a month, which is quite a lot for a phone contract, but all in all, it's not bad.
it's not terrible.
Not bad at all.
Every time I look at the phone contract, so and like switching over to like Vodafone or like O2 or something, I always get like, I get annoyed in one sense, because I'm like, well, I want to keep this number, I want to keep this fucking deal I've got, because it's so banging, because I'm literally paying next to nothing a month, and I've got unlimited. I never ever have to worry about data or running out of phone calls or running out of texts or anything like that.
I'm the same, yeah.
Because of that, and I just get annoyed, but I don't know. I'll sort something out, I suppose.
Well,
need a new phone, because that is starting to get old now. It is.
Yeah, and that's what I had. I was on an iPhone 7 for 6 years, something like that. And then when I
Nothing in the cup, bud. I'm drinking air, mate.
One of them if you want.
Yeah, go on. Yeah, I'll have one of them, mate.
Do you want that? Would you want that? Would you want one of them?
Whatever one.
Yeah, have one of them, mate. Go on. Have pineapple.
Are these the new ones?
I don't know if they're new.
There's a white pineapple that's come out like recently, but I don't know. Go on anyway.
White pineapple.
That's what it says. Yeah. Mouldy.
It's been there for a while.
Yeah.
But no. I suppose because Vox is obviously under the wing of Vodafone.
I believe your mum's it.
If she is, then I'm gonna have to say that this will be it then. Really, I'd say we had a decent one, didn't we?
It's been alright, yeah.
All right. Well, thank you guys for listening, and hopefully we'll see you in the next one. Bye.